Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 991 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined today by Ben Funky Askren, James Dean Rader, and you on this chilly Monday. Probably wherever you are, it's cold. Because it was 18 degrees this morning in Austin, Texas. That's how you know all bets are off. Ben was sending me some whining screenshots shots of his cold weather.
I didn't whine. I did not whine.
Yeah.
I literally just sent you one picture. It's wild. I mean, because it's one of those things like, how does it even get that cold? It said negative 15 this morning. Like, what do you even do with that? I'm not sure. I'm staying inside. I'm podcasting. I mean, I will go to the academy and do private lessons today, and because we don't practice tonight, so I have kind of a bunch of lessons. So I'm going to get on with my regular life despite the fact that it is negative 15. Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. How's the heating system at the AWA?
It's good. It's good. We actually just got a new, the academy I'm at, we had a little malfunction in one of the space heaters in the back. So I got that fixed. Gets real nice and hot like. But seriously, the amount of snow we got on Friday was like, I felt like I'd never seen that much snow. It was just so ridiculous. Really? It just kept snowing and snowing and snowing. It was like 15 inches or something.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. Well, I know, Andy, I don't know how far Cedar Falls is from where you are, but I know Andy got crushed.
Yeah. Crushed. They got crushed, too.
How about that, though? They weren't going to have the duel, UNI versus Utah Valley, because Utah Valley couldn't get to Cedar Falls or whatever the case was. And so they just drove to Iowa State, and they wrestled in the wrestling room. And they did an actual college duel in the Iowa State wrestling room. Did you know this,
Wait,
Ben?
that happened?
That happened.
No, I did not know that.
Parker wrestled.
Parker got
Because
attacked.
Pittsburgh couldn't get to Iowa State.
Oh, yeah.
They canceled that one early.
I think that Utah Valley was able to get to Iowa before, or like there was kind of, I think there were like two storms, and I think they got there in between, but then they weren't going to be able to get to Cedar Falls, but it didn't matter.
Hilarious.
Very hilarious. So, good job, because they tweeted that the duel was canceled. And I think, I can imagine Coach Schwab not taking no match for an answer, and they made it.
Yeah, it's a great solution. I love it.
All right. We got to start with this.
I got to grill you live on air. These people are starting to think we're not going to do anything special for episode 1000. So I just want to say we are going to do something, in fact, special. I don't know when Christian is the master planner. I don't know when he's going to spill the beans. But listen, we're going to do something special for episode 1000.
Well, yeah, that's true. The studio is almost done, and I know what you're thinking. Can you top this?
Almost. I thought it was done.
Can you top this, mother's room that we've been podcasting out of for the last half a year? You actually can.
I wish we could turn the camera on.
Yeah. I should just send a picture to Tyler of just there's just like foam sound barriers. It's not ideal. We acknowledge. Okay. But they've been hard at work. I was here yesterday, and they were in the studio working. So it's almost done. It looks really, it's going to be cool.
Are you getting nervous? We only got 9 episodes left. Are you getting nervous that they're not going to finish?
No, I'm not nervous at all about that. I think
not at all.
There's a chance.
I used to be. I did not think it would be done, but I do now.
Yeah.
Okay.
After seeing the progress.
Right.
That
I was nervous, and now I have assurances from people who, it's going to be February 15th, Keith Gothard. February 15th. That's locked in.
1 month from today.
We'll be in there. Ben's going to be in studio. I don't think we're going to have any other in-studio guests other than, maybe Ollie and other people in the normal routine.
I'm going to see on the code.
Will we? And Keith Gothard, it's kind of balls in your court. Does he get on episode 1000? I don't know. I think I'm going to, kind of like with a child, you got to dangle it a little bit, that incentive. So he's got to behave. If he behaves, maybe he's on episode 1000. If we get bad behavior, who knows? No, but hopefully we can get a lot of cool guests. I've actually tasked young Tyler Meisinger with kind of like making this show cool and kind of coming up with a run of show and things like that. Because it's gonna be a banger. It's not gonna be a standard hour and a half one. We're gonna go for a while.
I love it.
I'm excited for it. But yeah, episode 1000 is gonna happen, and there's potential it could be cool. But that part I can't.
Did you ever think you were gonna get that far? Because I was on episode 1. I remember you called me. I was outside Brookfield High School. Josh Otto and Dom Dantino were wrestling that night, I believe. And You know, it was interesting. It was just a phone call. Was no video, no nothing like that. Just a quick phone call. When you were doing that, did you think you were going to get to episode 1,000?
Man, I don't know. I had no idea. I had no concept of it. I was just I was really just focused on doing something that day and like making it okay. And I had no expectations of getting to 1,000 or 100, or I just wanted to do the next one good enough to do the next one, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you to Ben for being on episode number 1.
Tyler Fortson says, and this is a must, and I will be very upset if this doesn't happen.
Okay.
We need an epic Brat Key Alien Hour for episode 1,000.
If he is my friend, which he,
yes,
he will do this.
It's a big if.
It's pretty.
He will.
It's a big if. He has to show up. He has to be on episode 1,000. I'm going to invite him.
I'm going to tell him right now.
I'm going to tell him right now, too. I'm going to tell him even harder, Ben.
Texting him.
Yeah, just blow him up. Yeah, absolutely should. I'm going to send him a voicemail when y'all can just hear it.
Okay.
I love those. I don't know. Some people don't like them. I think they're the best. Bracky, we're doing the show right now. You have to be on episode 1,000. Ben has to have an epic alien hour. You have 1 month. See you in a month. Goodbye. All right, he's been told.
That was so good. I love
He's going to be riding high off of the Packers win. He is an owner of the Green Bay Packers. I think the owner.
Yeah, he's a Packers fan. I
Owner.
forgot.
Yep, so he's going to be excited. All right. Yeah, Alien Hour, a must. And we are not going to just completely forego the wrestling portion of conversation, that show. We're going to have to do a regular show, but then also, some cool stuff. Anyway, I want to talk about this Iowa-Nebraska duel. Certainly the most anticipated duel of the weekend. And the Hawks showed up and showed out in Lincoln. I thought it was another great performance by Iowa. They've had 2 kind of marquee duels so far this year, Iowa State and Nebraska. And I feel like in both matchups, they outperformed expectations in a lot of ways and really wrestled well. And I don't know where we really want to start. We can kind of go through it, but really the standout performance was at 197, where Zach Glazier took it to Silas Allred from start to finish. He had an early takedown. He had a takedown as time expired for the major decision. Glazier never really close to a score. I was thoroughly impressed with Glazier, who remains undefeated and
That's wild, right?
just beat the Big Ten champion. And now this was a throwaway weight, and in my opinion, coming into this weight, unless they got AJ. And Glazier has just wrestled fantastic this year. And I really feel like there's quite a few Hawkeyes that have been maybe out-wrestling expectations that I had for him this year. And I think Zach Glazier is the top of that list. Ben, what were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, no, Glazier is, listen, I'm going to say I was first to the party. I picked Glazier over the gentleman from Iowa, Broderson, because I knew he was that good at least. Like, I knew he was that good. I didn't think he would beat Silas Allred. I was way wrong on this one. You guys gave him some points, and I thought, which I was correct in this, going into 197, they could have used some bonus points. So Mark Manning probably said, hey, Silas, please go put it on him. Pretty bad. And he didn't do it. He didn't look good at all. Glazier's tough. I mean, when you look at his slate, the Ferrari is going to be, got a 5-4 over Garrett Joles, who's, he's like NCAA qualifier type. Allred, he killed him. But then, the next best win is Broderson. So I guess I will still say, for me, jury's out on Glazier. I think he's probably a 1-2 or 2-2 guy at NCAAs.
Okay. And that's within the realm. But I think what I would say is I would never have predicted a scenario where I would say, Zach Glazier could get on the podium. And now my mind...
I predict that still.
Well, I'm not predicting it, but it's a possibility. Whereas I think coming into the year, I was like, no, they're not going to be able to place it this weight. But you're not even saying that.
Let's pull up them 197 rankings, because I know one guy.
Oh, it's so tough. I was just watching.
But number 8, I texted you guys about that. I was like mad, and I'm not even his coach last night. Jacob Cardenas against Michael Beard live on Flow on Saturday. Cardenas is losing by 5, and he got stall called twice in the third period to almost get majored. Like, what are you even doing? Are you even trying?
Yeah, I kind of saw that a little bit with a couple of the Cornell guys. I felt like a lot of clock watching, looked a little tired. I don't know what it was, but across the board, it seemed like Lehigh just had a little more fight and grit that dual meet. And that was a prime example in a must-win match for really both teams, but I think they could have all but iced it with a Cardenas win there. And he gets the first takedown. And one thing, I think this is a little bit about just Beard is really wrestling well this year. He did get majored by Trent Hidley. But other than that, I mean, he majored Lou Dupre the night before, looked really good, and he looked really, really strong here against Cardenas, who has beaten him before. And one thing I think you're always kind of a Beard hater, just to be candid, just to be honest.
Who?
You!
Me?
Oh, we're going back to the Bracky era, but we could pull the receipts. You were big haters of
No, I was right on that one. I was right.
Michael Beard.
Take it back.
No.
I
All-American
said
that year.
20...
You said they weren't getting nothing at 197, and he freaking placed.
I called him around a 12 guy, and he somehow snuck in. He was 10-6 that year. Give me a freaking break.
No one had many wins. Anyways, I've always been higher on Beard than Ben Askren, but one of your criticisms that was actually fair, one of your actually fair criticisms, he got a little tie-tie at the end of matches. Sometimes that mouth would be wide open, he would get tired, he would kind of fade. He has been really good late in matches, at least the ones I've seen, which I've watched quite a few of them this year. He's been attacking consistently. I think he's looked really, really good this year, and you know what? This weight is so deep that Zach Glazier would have to have the tournament of his life, I think, probably to place. Yeah. I mean, Michael Beard's ranked 10th. He's a monster.
Silas is 13, which I didn't realize that because whatever rankings they were using but I want to say the rankings of Friday night had him at number 3 or something.
Yeah. Not credible.
I think they were searching the internet for the best possible seeding ranking of a person and putting it on there for Iowa and Nebraska both.
Yeah, that's possible.
Definitely possible. Sorry, back to Iowa and Nebraska. You got me excited about 197 in the podium, and I pulled up the rankings, and I get off track sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's
my apologies.
How Lou Dupre's already ranked 7th? What is happening?
Yeah, that should not be the case.
What's going on, JD? These are your rankings.
Lou Dupre is good.
That wasn't my question. How is he ranked 7th?
I don't think he's had very many matches. Oh, and he's actually had 12 matches. I don't know. He got 12 matches already.
Who realized that? Not me.
Sheridan Invitational and the David Lehman Open.
Okay, well.
Techfall, number 21, Levi Hopkins. But he does not really have, too many other good wins. Hey, back to the Iowa duel. I think for me.
Jackson Smith, who's number 4.
Where?
Last year.
Last year. Got it. Okay. For me, obviously I was shocked by Glazier. I made the wrong pick there. I was way off. But Drake Ayala, I think, is the one that was most impressive for me because Caleb Smith has been good. And he kind of schooled Caleb Smith. Like, Caleb, he made it a possibility when he got in on some of those leg passes in the third period, and Drake was able to just kind of stalemate him. But besides that, he kind of killed him.
I mean, Drake, it was all about Drake got to legs very consistently against Caleb. Caleb was never close to generating offense. There was some counter, even on some of the passes. I don't think he was really ever close to scoring. He was just stopping some takedowns. I was. And he was really trying
to push with an underhook, which was I didn't see that one coming. Like, I don't know, he was trying to get stall calls, or I don't know what he was trying to do there.
Yeah, I thought Drake really cemented himself against Caleb, who, as you mentioned, had a great year. A lot of offense from Drake. He looks, 125 just continues to be in chaos. I'm not sure.
Oh, my God.
Last time we did the show.
I told you, 1, 3, 4, and 5 lost this weekend. What in the world?
Yep, so the one, now let me go back in time here. Number 1 was Anthony Noto. Number 3, Steve O'Poulin lost. Nico Provo lost. Caleb Smith lost. Now we're seeing, Luke Stanich is a little scrapper. He beat Brett Unger, pretty tough match, and I don't know if you watched this one, Ben, but he took bottom in the third up 2-0, which, maybe there seemed to be no question in the Lehigh corner's mind that we're going to go under Brett Unger, but going into the third period, it looked like Unger's only opportunity was to get a turn. And Stanich got, I don't know if it's Stanek or Stanich. Maybe we get clarity there.
I don't trust your opinion on name pronunciation.
He gets away right away and wins the match and seals the duel for Lehigh. Really impressive. Yeah. So, I don't know how you're going to shake out these rankings after.
Let me read you this. No, I think Luke Stange is going high because let me read you this. So his only losses to Spratley. Spratley does have 3 losses. But at Midlands, he beat Eli Griffin, who is just had the win over Steve O'Pulin, who's number 3. He beat Diego Sotelo, who just had the win over number 1 Anthony Noto, right? He beats Eric Barnett, who's ranked highly, beat Cooper Flynn, and then he just beat Brett Unger. Like, that's a pretty damn solid last 5 matches.
He's had 7 ranked matches. He won 6 of them. There's not a lot of guys with 125 with that kind of track record against tough guys. And they haven't officially, pulled him to be varsity this year, but you have to assume they're going to do so. Yeah. This 125 is the ultimate smoke 'em if you got him weight. If there's anyone, if there's a slightly better guy at 125, you wrestle him because they could be a national champion.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you know what? I'll put a little pressure on Ben. Put the heat on. See what happens. Who is your pick? You can't pick Noah Certain.
Why not?
To win 125.
It's actually, at this point, it's semi-reasonable.
It is semi-reasonable, but we'll just say you already picked him, so you're second. Who is your guy?
Man, the most consistent too. So, I don't want to get too high on Drake because he has the loss to, who's the loss? It was someone,
the Kaler loss was crazy. He had the match won.
Kaler, yes.
He tried to slide by and basically pulled Kaler into him and took himself down. It was kind of wild.
Hold on. Let me, hold on. There was someone else. I think I'm right. It was maybe Ryan Miller that was super close, or there's someone else that was kind of like made me a little hesitant. It was not Eli Griffin. Keegan. Oh, Max Gallagher. He is from UPenn. That's who I was thinking.
8-7.
That was kind of sketch. Matt Ramos looked good. I watched him. He had someone. Who the hell did he have?
Dean Peterson.
Dean Peterson 4-1. He looked good. I'd probably say him at this point. He's been very consistent. He does have a few losses, but he seems to be super. Standage is super consistent also, given this weight class.
Yeah, he's impressive. I actually did a video like a week and a half ago or so, a little more maybe, and I said, hey, my pick right now is Matt Ramos, with not a high degree of confidence. So he'll be number 1 tomorrow, but whatever that means. Not much.
Yeah. It means he's going to lose.
Actually, I feel like now looking at his wrestle stat, I kind of feel like he shouldn't be number 1. He's only number 1 given his previous results from last year.
He has a Noto win.
And then he lost to Provo, Smith, and Camacho.
Yeah.
Which are all looking like, previously those would have looked not that bad, and now they're all starting to look a little bit worse.
It's weird to retroactively punish for a loss that they already got punished for. Like, he already got hit for losing to Camacho, but now that Camacho's doing bad, it's like, well, you can't just keep dropping him down more. It's sort of a weird dynamic with 125.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, great win for Drake Ayala. 33, when Jacob Van D beat Teskey soundly, you're like, oh, wow, this is very much in play for Nebraska, because that was just not an expected upset. Teskey did not look great. Van D took it to him. It's kind of the second time in a big duel where Teskey didn't show up.
I was frustrated that Van D did not go for the major, because you saw they were like cut him, and there's 30 seconds left, and there's essentially no punishment for getting taken down because you're still going to win by decision. He didn't take a shot with like 32 seconds. I think that was kind of frustrating, and I think I saw that also. The Lovett match, I was annoyed. Lovett. The one wrestling situation he got in and he scored, but he just doesn't have the ability to go to legs. And that's like, if you're going to be a bonus point guy and a team leader, you got to be able to go do that.
Yeah.
To counteract that, he got on top with about 1:15 left, I think. And being a counterattack guy from your feet, top is his best position to score. Theoretically.
Sure, yeah.
So
I'm saying you have to have the ability to do that, which he maybe does not.
True. Yeah. So we'll talk 41-49 here, because we got a lot of questions about the stall calls. There was a lot of complaining from Iowa fans specifically. On the stall calls, some of them, I'm pretty sure it was like 7-0 at one point, stall calls against Iowa versus Nebraska, which relative to the points being scored and the overall activity doesn't seem like it should be. And I thought 41 and 49 were good examples of like, yeah, I'm kind of with you. It doesn't make sense because you watch Real Woods attack basically for 7 minutes, commit to every single attack from neutral and not get a stall warning against Brock Hardy, whereas Ridge Lovett, who you could certainly say was more offensive on his feet than Caleb Ratchey, but not more offensive than Real Woods was against Brock Hardy, and no stall warnings.
I'll describe to you the problem, and this is absolutely a problem. If someone is in on a shot and they're spending time in on a shot in a scramble, for some reason refs like negate that. Versus if a person is pushing, which to me is less offensive, though still offensive, it's like because less is happening, they feel like they have to do something or they have to interject. But if one person is shooting and scrambles are happening, then they feel as though they can stay out of it, which, I'm saying I disagree with, but that is definitely what happens.
Yeah, there's less risk involved with just pushing and positionally like moving the guy, whereas Real was changing levels and attacking. So yeah, I did think there were some inconsistencies in the neutral stall call for sure. And this has been a long-standing gripe with how stalling is called, but the Glazier Allred one is the classic where one guy's been attacking the whole match, and then the other guy's trying to get back in the last minute of the match, and you hit that guy for stalling, the one that's been scoring the whole time, which is what happened when they hit Glazier for stalling at the end. And then Glazier got taken out at the end.
On that one, I don't know. I kind of feel like he was stalling for about a minute. And
he was stalling. I don't disagree. I don't disagree that he was stalling. But
you want to call the same way throughout the entire match.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my
situational
whole point.
Stalling.
And then he gets the takedown, and I'm pretty sure it was Terry. He said, "Take that stall call and shove it." It was so funny.
Yes, I heard that. I think I've heard that on live on air.
They had the Iowa corner mic'd way louder than the I couldn't even hear Nebraska coaches actually, and I'm certain they're talking too, but you could hear the Iowa staff, which is always added bonus. I feel like we should have been charged extra for that, but no, it was the same rate. Let's anything to add? I mean, Real Woods. Well, we didn't talk about this match, which is significant. Real Woods really dominated Brock Hardy, and I think coming into the year, Real was the favorite, but you're like, there's some guys that can get him. Like Bo Bartlett could. Brock Hardy's giving him tough matches. I'm feeling more like it's really his way. Now, we had the Etchemendia match. That was super competitive, super close. But I feel like from the start of the year, he has pulled away from the field somewhat. Do you agree, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I think we said he was the favorite. I think he still is the favorite. The four that will give him the toughest matches, I think, and these are not in ranked order, although two of them are really high. Bartlett, Mendez, and Etchemendia, all just super solid, strong. I mean, Hardy had a couple scramble opportunities, maybe, I guess you'd say, that he couldn't convert on, but besides that, he against Real, he can't really generate much of his own offense, and he can't. He struggles on top and bottom, which against a lot of people he wins against. So, I feel like it's a low likelihood that he wins, but I think the three that I mentioned are the ones who would have a chance, although Real is still the significant favorite.
Yeah. Okay, 57. Frantic takes out Rob.
Before we go to 57,
did
you see this guy talking about Ridge Lovett's quote, celebration, unquote?
I didn't think anything of his celebration when he did it.
I don't remember even seeing it. What did he do?
So all he did was pump up the crowd, like one time, where you toss your hands up. This guy was like, your number one ranked guy celebrating after not getting a major decision over number 12 in a big duel. I don't think Ridge's quote, celebration, unquote, warranted that because he didn't even really celebrate.
Yeah, I didn't think he did that much. I mean, listen, a 6-0 win over number 12, number 14, whatever he's ranked, I think it's not like he was.
He should have been pushing for the major.
Maybe so, but he can celebrate.
I will say to maybe defend this guy a little. Like I said, I don't think Ridge celebrated that much, and he tied the team score back at 6. But I don't hate the sentiment of I want my number one guy pushing for a major. Kind of like Ben said, especially in a big duel like this. After you drop 125, which is a toss-up match.
You got to be like a honey badger. Freaking don't pin his ass. Like, freaking.
Ding.
Let's go. Now I'm all fired up. I'm going to go pin this dude. If you put me out there against number 12, I'm going to attack him till he's on his back. And listen, I can give up some points. It don't matter. I'm going to get him one time. He's pinned. It's over. Done deal.
Not if it's that Oklahoma guy.
Not if it's freaking Wes Roberts. What's Wes Roberts doing today? I want to go try to pin him right now. I'll take the first flight to Oklahoma City.
Give it up. You still can't pin Wes Roberts.
No, I will pin Wes Roberts. There's no way he stayed in good shape. There's no way. I'll gas him out now because he's a rancher or something. I don't know. Maybe he might be a financial advisor. I'm not sure what he's doing. I don't know.
I thought you knew he was a rancher, and then you said, hey, he might be a financial advisor.
Or anything in between.
Or
that's
something
pretty
in between.
Much the gambit.
Anything in between.
You know?
I will pin Wes Roberts. Wes Roberts, listen, Christian Biles, if I eat my breakfast on on Thursday morning and Wes Roberts doesn't exist, I am the only person in the modern era to have all bonuses. That son of a bitch, Wes Roberts, ruined my life.
Double dings. We've had 2 dings in 2 minutes.
You got me talking about Wes Roberts. What do you want from me?
Well, you're here talking about, I always pin number 12. Meanwhile, Wes Roberts, you know. So I'm just saying.
Stop it. You better stop antagonizing me or I'm going off the show. Wes Roberts, he freaking makes me mad. Dang it. How could I not beat him so bad? He's not even that good. Why could I not pin him?
Oh, my gosh.
Dang it.
I don't know.
Now I'm mad. Now you just ruined my morning.
That's hilarious. Okay. I'm sorry to ruin your morning.
I hate you.
But to go back to what I said, it would have been different if Ridge would have danced.
Pinned him, then he could have had a party.
Well, I'm saying he didn't have a party is my thing.
He didn't do that much.
No.
I barely even remember what he did.
If he would have
I agree.
grittied on him or something after, winning a regular decision, then it's a different story.
Man.
But I don't hate the sentiment of, I don't want my number 1 ranked wrestler partying super hard after.
Oh, I love it.
Just a regular decision win when you feel like he is capable of bonus pointing a guy. And I realize
what did you have the line at for this match?
Like 4.5.
Okay, so he literally beat the line that we all agreed was a good line. So he outperformed.
Didn't we all pick Ridge?
And we all picked Ridge to cover.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that can't be that good of a line if we all pick it. The good ones are the ones. Which one did you get that was... You got me on one. That was...
Antrell, I think. Was it Antrell?
Yes.
Caliendo?
The ride time. He lost on the ride time. I was so mad I forgot about the ride time. I'm like, I won again. Dang it all.
The line. There was no gripes about this line at the time. I thought it was a very appropriate celebration.
Okay. And I do too. I was just saying in a different scenario.
No. We know how you really feel.
Yeah, and I also want to cancel the individual NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's true too. Now we finally have it. No black and white, no mushmouth JD. He said said it. Clip it. He wants to cancel NCAAs. This guy was doing jumping jacks in 2020. He's like, finally. Yes, they're getting it.
I don't want to see it in a football stadium. I actually want it in a high school gymnasium.
Yeah.
If we're going to have it, at least have it in a high school gymnasium.
Yeah. We didn't get to have it at that football stadium. That almost makes me as mad as not being able to pin Wes Roberts.
I know. I remember you used to always. I remember the early days of FRL with you. We're like basically we did like 3 months and then the world shut down. And we'd be doing the show. He's like, Christian, do you realize we were about to have the best month? We're gonna have NCAAs in a freaking football stadium and the Olympic trials, and now we don't get any of it. You would stop and say that so often.
That was annoying. Do you know how bad that was?
Yeah, annoying. That was the word most people used.
I still want to know what it would have looked like on the football field because part of me said the mats are just going to be too small in if they're going to be like tiny little people, because the football stadium is much larger than a normal arena. So it was going to, part of me says it's going to be amazing. Part of me says, oh my God, they're going to look kind of funny because they're going to be so small compared to the entirety of the space.
I think they should try it again. I think it would have been awesome.
Yes.
I love, taking a swing and trying something cool. Yeah, give it a shot. Bid again, Minneapolis. Minneapolis is cool, also.
Yeah. Hey, just FYI, Christian, there's a guy, James Martinez, in the chat that says, make a Wes Roberts shirt. If you ever wear a Wes Roberts shirt on this show, I will leave the show.
You would? Would you really?
I'll just hang up, right? Boom, click, hang up. You can't get me back.
It's so funny because Ben was Mr. Antagonizing, and I wear a shirt. He's an American citizen, an NCAA Division I athlete, and that would be so reprehensible to Ben that he would literally leave the show, quit his job. I'll go on strike.
I will strike till the Wes Roberts shirt is done.
We'll have a picket sign. No Wes Roberts. All right. I'm not even going to say what I'm thinking right now, but read my mind.
All right, Peyton Robb got tired. I didn't like this before. He looked good in the first, we'll say, 5 minutes. Looked really solid. And then you could just tell as the third period was going on that Franek was going to get one because he was just getting closer and closer and closer. And he got one, and then Robb still had
39.
I was going to say 35. I was going to say 35 seconds to escape and didn't really come all that close to an escape.
It was, it could be, confirmation bias here. But the moment Franek got the takedown and he was kind of below the waist and Robb was just looking down, not moving, yes. I was like, he's not getting away. Like, he's not right. Like, his mind wasn't around getting away, or something was not connecting, or he was just that tired. Whatever it was, he wasn't responding like someone like, I'm down by one, I have to get away or I lose this match. It was just like, I don't know what tiredness can kind of make, all of us kind of melt down for sure. But it's a little concerning on the Peyton Robb front because 2 straight matches he's lost in the third period. Sort of, some of it's tactical. He gives up the escape to Downey to go down by 1 late in that match, and then here he gives up the late takedown, and he has 40 seconds, which you think Peyton Robb has 40 seconds to get away against really anyone. You'd be like, he's going to get away.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Not able to get away there. So, and I was super confident. There were a couple of big whiffs by me in this dual meet, heavyweight for sure, and also this one. I was like, I feel really good about Robb winning this match. I thought bounce back match from the Downey thing. I thought, yeah, he lost at NCAAs, but I was thinking back to the dual meet win he had earlier. Wrong. Franek got it done late and looks really, really good right now.
This was your most off prognostication pre-duel. You might have said there was no way Franek was winning this.
I don't know if I said no way, but I said I did not consider taking Franek. I'll say that.
Wow.
I was felt really confident. Wrong. Good performance by Jared Franek getting that one late, and the ride out was tough. And he was dropping down effectively as well. He had a couple drop downs, but he got the ride out. Strong performance there. Yeah. Caliendo looks really slick against Antrell. Not a ton to talk about there. Kennedy, good win over Bubba Wilson, who got the first takedown, and then really didn't. You could kind of tell the second match he didn't have really any answers.
Yep.
Gabe Arnold did not travel for this dual meet, and then Lenny Pinto over Riggins by a weird major decision, kind of. I thought it was kind of a goofy match.
Because it was like Riggins was just good enough to hang on in certain positions. Like, Pinto comes out and gets a single leg and then a honey badger in the first 7 seconds, and then they end up in front head single leg position, and I think they spent a minute there where he wasn't scoring, but then it was certain times you'd get that underhook and he would score super explosively, and then other times it would just be standing around, or Riggins would hang onto a leg or hang onto an underhook and just spend a bunch of time there.
Yeah, no, it was a little weird. And then he had a cut late that I actually didn't agree with because it was 17-5.
He almost got taken down.
Yeah, because if he cuts, a takedown doesn't give him the tech, but a takedown for Riggins would have made it a decision. I'm pretty sure at the time, the way the math worked.
Yeah. And so he won by 12, so another cut and takedown up by 14, right? 1 and then 3. And so you would have needed 2 more in addition to the one he got to get a tech fall. So I agree. I think I was thinking the same thing as you.
Yeah. We did not get the football boys at heavyweight. But Bradley Hill got it done.
We got one of the football boys.
Yeah, we got a football
Half
boy.
of it.
We got a football bear. And I may have overestimated, I don't want to elaborate on this, but I think I overestimated Nash a lot of bit. But
I swear, hey, could Tyler go back to the film? I swear we did an Iowa versus Nebraska heavyweight picks, and I picked Iowa and you picked Nebraska, and I want another notch up on you. So Tyler, can you go back and check the film on that one?
He'll check post haste. Okay.
Yeah, Nash is big and strong, but you could tell he hasn't wrestled in a while just because he looks a little bit clumsy on some of the things he was doing. Nothing looks super smooth, which, hey, if you don't wrestle for a bunch of years, you're probably not going to look super smooth. So, honestly, I would say I think there's a chance he gets in better shape and tightens things up and in 2 months qualifies for the NCAA tournament, but I don't really see him as a threat at the NCAA tournament.
Nice.
Hey,
I sent Tyler a response from Bracky. Whenever we get a chance, I want to put this up on the screen because it's a good thing. So whenever that's ready to go, I'll read it verbatim. But I want you to be able to see it. Okay, there you see it on your screen. Bracky said, you heard me send the voice message. He said, it will be the best Alien Hour since the original Avril Lavigne segment. For those of you that are not longtime listeners, that was where Bracky revealed that Avril Lavigne has actually been dead for some time now and has been portrayed by a body double named Melissa. And so he blew that wide open. He was originally on the Free Britney movement, which, maybe we should have kept her unfreed here nor there. He did his part.
Maybe she shouldn't be freed. Yes.
So excited for that. Any other thoughts on the Iowa-Nebraska duel other than Iowa's looking pretty freaking tough right now?
Yeah.
That's my takeaway.
Yep, and I guess disappointed in Silas Allred. Honestly, and maybe it's Iowa being good and tough, but between Silas Allred having not a great performance, we talked about Lenny Pinto, Bubba Wilson got tired, Peyton Robb got tired, Ridge Lovett didn't really push for the major. Like, I think that's one where they need to ask more out of their stars. Like, if you're one of their best guys, you got to go get it done. Like, if you're that much better, you need to go try to put them on their back multiple times. A decision is not okay.
Yeah. And I think for Nebraska, let's think about the UNI duel. The big matches in there were, 41 and 57. UNI won both of those. Yes. In the Iowa-Nebraska duel, 25, 41, 57 were the big ones. We didn't even have 97 on the radar. Nebraska lost all the marquee matches and gave up an upset. It's not been a good back-to-back weeks for Nebraska, I would say. Relative to, their expectations. This is a team that was ranked, second or third in our tournament rankings, which is very much a fluid situation. I think 2 to 13, I posed the question, which of these teams can't trophy next year?
Oh, I had an answer for you. I saw you post that.
Who do you think?
The answer was 2 to 13. So last week, Nebraska's going to go down significantly in the rankings, I would imagine, after this week.
Yeah.
I was going to say, who was I going to say? Arizona State,
probably
maybe?
Missouri.
Shut up.
Oh, that's who you eliminate. Eliminate. Yeah, Arizona State. Yeah,
just because they haven't been able to have any type of consistency. Figueroa has barely wrestled any matches. Parko's been out of the lineup. Colton Schultz is just barely back. If they had a teamer's been kind of up and down, he just lost to who do you lose to? Cardenas? Chittum, thank you.
But what's interesting about that, and I don't disagree. I think Arizona State has to show it. But who didn't show it really all year? Last year was Ohio State, and they somehow.
Oh, that's right.
They somehow got a trophy. Now, I think Ohio State had more bullets than Arizona State has.
Yes.
But, this was, we thought Richie Figueroa was a guy that could contend for a title. That remains to be seen at this point. Yeah, except he's at 125, which means he absolutely could if he's healthy.
Right? You might as well just seed him number 1.
Crown him. crown him. Jacory versus Chittum. That was not his best performance, but I'm not taking anything away from Cody because he is that guy for sure. Colton Schultz not been wrestling great, but he's really good. But they probably just don't have enough. So I'd say even if all those guys wrestled their best, probably you could eliminate them.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of Mitchell Messerming chatter in the YouTube chat.
They're loving it.
They're all over him.
Listen, I've sheltered you a little bit from this for a while, but now it's time. You're a grown man.
What? Before we move on to
just let it go.
No, does this change your opinion on what you think Iowa will do with Gabe Arnold?
I mean, it's simple. Do you want your best lineup or not? If you do, you wrestle Gabe. If you don't, then you wrestle Kennedy.
I feel like they're not wrestling Gabe because why would they make Kennedy go back to 74?
I don't know. Because he can't start it. Yeah. To push the decision down.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with you though. Wrestle Gabe Arnold. I don't know. It appears to me that they're not going to, but yeah, I would.
Yeah, I would. All right, let me go. You've sheltered Ben long enough. He's a grown man. He has some NCAA records for dominance. He can handle this. A lot of Mitchell Keegan chatter. A lot of people want to know. Talk about the matchup. How does it look? Now, you won't get into much. I know this. You know, he's a big, tough guy. He's not going to say too much. But you got to give us something. Give us a taste. What do you think?
They're both really good wrestlers.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
They're going to both be pretty aggressive and getting a lot of scrambles. And I'm excited to see it. It's on Saturday night in Kansas City. I'm going to be doing this. Yeah.
Will you weep? I think there's a chance you'll weep.
I don't think I'll weep. I think it's going to be it'll likely be a strange mix of emotions.
Strange combination.
Because obviously on the one hand you're going to be very elated for whomever is the winner, and you're going to be very sad for whomever is the loser. You feel emotions for both people. So it'll be a weird feeling. We kind of have that a lot in the state finals now. I think like the last 2 years we had like 20 state finals where it's AWA versus AWA. And it's such a weird thing because you feel so great for the winner because you know everything they went through, right? And then you feel bad for the loser, and then you feel bad for feeling good, and then it's just weird.
To quote Aiden Sinclair, your heart goes out to the losers. I don't know if you heard his post who's number one match, but that's what he said. And that was AWA versus AWA.
That was AWA versus AWA, yeah. So, no, Mitchell looked good against Lillard. Lillard is, he's kind of tough to wrestle and sneaky, and Mitchell was able to get 3 takedowns. I don't know, Lillard on that second takedown, it was weird because it didn't even really look like anything happened. You know, obviously he had the knee injury that we had discussed, it 2 weeks ago? But when he finished the single leg, it just looked like normal. And then all of a sudden he went down. And then on the next one, obviously he was pulling him back in bounds. So that was more stress on the knee than the first one. And then that was over.
Okay.
But he's got Fish and Amin this weekend. So we're going to have some fun this weekend.
Fun in the, what state is Michigan called? Like, you know, Virginia?
The Mitten State.
The Mitten State?
Because it's shaped like a mitten.
It's really called the Mitten State, though?
I don't know.
No! Oh, my gosh. You had me going the way you said it. Because, you know, like New Jersey's the Garden State for some reason. What is Michigan? We need to figure this out.
I'm looking it up for you.
But before that,
the Mitten State. Yeah, he's right. The Great Lakes State or the Mitten State.
Okay. Wolverine State. Even though I don't think Wolverines are indigenous to Michigan anymore.
Never know.
You never know, though. That's right. Look into it, says Ben. But hold on. We're not moving off the Mitchell-Keegan thing so fast. There's a quick diversion. You hit me with a little misdirection. You almost got me off, but I'm locked in here.
I gave you an answer.
Hold on. I'm going to ask a pointed question.
Okay, go.
I'm not going to ask you to pick. How dare I? But what would you describe as the areas of advantage for either guy? Who has the better... Is Keegan better from the top position? Is he better in the scrambles? Is one of them better at generating leg attacks? It would seem like maybe that would be Mitchell's possible advantage. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my guess on what's going to happen. I don't think top will be all that much of a factor. Mitchell's pretty good off bottom. Keegan has gotten ridden like once in his career. It's pretty rare. I don't foresee that being an issue for either one. I think Mitchell, I mean, he obviously shoots all the time. He'll maybe be a little more careful in that match, I would think. And so then it'll come down to who's going to win the scrambles. Mitchell uses his gas tank, but so does Keegan. Keegan wears people out also, so I don't really foresee the gas tank being an issue for either party.
So both will get to legs. It'll just come down to who's better at finishing.
Yeah.
In your opinion.
Or not getting finished on, if you want to think about it both ways, right?
Yes. All right,
Yeah.
I'm trying, guys. I give it a little something. A little something.
But no, let's watch Amin just lost a fish, which is it was a very last second thing, but that's two top. Yeah, he tried to sneak one out there, and Caleb Fish did kind of like jump over him.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he got that early takedown, go behind, and then didn't really push for offense beyond that and tried to hold off Fish. He almost did it, but got ran behind late. And we haven't seen Cam, and I'll be sad. I won't say mad, but I will be sad if Cam doesn't wrestle.
There's a chance they don't wrestle him. There's a chance, for sure.
We were talking before, I think he might be a little injured. I
thought he looked
wrestled
healthy.
a select number of matches, hasn't wrestled in every duel for Michigan this year, every tournament. So, and Fish is tough, but a match based on their history, Cam, should win that match. So.
Yes, I agree with that. Fish is a tough guy for sure. Okay, I do want to talk a little more about the Penn State match. I did think Levi looked good in the short period of time he was on the mat. Kasak against Rooks, a 15-0 tech. Very impressive win there. But then you zoom out a little bit and you look at Graham Rook's season, and it's not the guy we saw last year at NCAAs, who was a breath away from beating Shane Van Ness, I believe, and beat.
That's wild to think about, right?
Yeah, he was right there to beat him, and someone else too. Maybe Henson, maybe.
Well, he beat Austin Gomez at conference, but Gomez was a little bit injured.
Yeah, let's look at this old Graham Rooks.
Rooks. I feel like Rooks wasn't that good on the backside. But I feel like 2 years ago, Rooks was not that good. Mm-hmm. And then last year, he kind of had some really good results, but it kind of came out of nowhere. And then this year, again, he's been, what?
He beat Caleb Henson last year.
Wild,
at
right?
NCAAs. He beat Caleb Henson. But this year, young Graham, pinned by Kelvin Griffin, lost to Owen Reinsel 9-3, 7-4 loss to Elijah Rivera, and 8-2 loss to Quinn Kenner, and now he's been teched by Tyler Kasak. He's not been the same guy. But
yes, that's correct.
It's still one thing. I feel like Kasak looks like good size for 49. He made 141 this year, and so I thought size could be a factor, but he looks right now to be reasonably sized, not at least undersized. It's not going to be something that gets him beat down. And you got to be pretty excited if you're a Penn State fan, and it sounds like they are going to use Tyler this year, which I think is the right call.
I agree. It's pretty impressive. Your number one guy goes down, and you can slide that guy in.
Well, yeah, this is their embarrassment of riches. They have so much depth. You've got your number one guy goes down, and then you've got a number one guy out of high school ready to replace him. That's in redshirt.
Yes. He's very, very, very good. I want to see him against some other better guys though. Also, it was the weirdest tech ever because he gets ridden for a minute 59 and pops away for the tech fall at the end of the third period. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. It felt kind of funny.
I kind of thought time was up when he got away, but they gave the one. So, I don't know how synced up the scoreboards on
the stream. It was out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was trying to listen for the buzzer, but yeah, he did get he got ridden pretty tough by Rooks there at the end. But overall, really good performance by Kasak. Really, he's pretty fearless, and also fearless. Braden Davis, he had some nice takedowns. He was in a standing single, and he did some it was a weird kind of upper body counter, and he comes out on top. He's looking the part for Penn State as well. So,
Braden Davis, the 125 savior for Penn State.
He could. He could break the.
Is he undefeated?
Yes. 9 or 10-0.
Crown him. Kale's do not rank him number one, no matter what you do.
Do not rank him anywhere in the top 10.
You keep him out of the top 10. But yeah,
so funny.
Still, when is his next? He could wrestle D'Agostino this week. Mm-hmm. That would be big. Yes. And Lujan for Michigan State's not bad at 25.
He had a 4-2 win over Lujan at the Black Knight Invitational.
Okay. So another crack at him. And then D'Agostino would be a big step up in competition, I think. Probably be the best guy he's wrestled this year. So look forward to that match. Okay, nothing really else of note in the Penn State.
Bernie Truex didn't wrestle. Coming off of a loss, too.
Could be scheduled rest.
To Munoz. I'm not looking too much into it. I don't think Barr's starting over Truex or anything like that, but it is notable.
Yep. Don't know why that Bernie didn't wrestle, but obviously they could afford to not use him that day, and can take advantage and give Barr a Penn State, home start, which is exciting as well.
They didn't give up a takedown or a near fall point. Just escapes.
That was really impressive. They look really, really good right now. With Michigan coming, and that'll be a fun duel. Is that a Friday duel?
Friday.
They're at Michigan and Michigan State.
Okay.
Yeah.
The mitten duels.
Yeah, the mitten duels, as we've been calling them for years now.
The Great Lakes duels?
Yes. I wonder how chilly it's going to be in Michigan this weekend.
Single digits.
I think it's going to be cold still.
Yeah.
Very cold.
Negatives probably at night.
You're going to have to get tough. But you were raised in this.
That's right.
I
was born for this.
Live for this moment. Okay. Can we move off of Penn State, Indiana?
I think that's fair.
Okay, I think we can do it.
Do we want to just you got a whole bunch of questions about Kale comments. I mean, I don't think we need to talk about any of these, but I think we should just mention it. It sounds like Braden Davis and Tyler Kasich are going to be the starters moving forward for this year.
Yeah. Kale on burning Braden Davis's red shirt is from Caleb Boyer. We're going to have some difficult discussions, which, is probably, hey, you're going. Hey, Braden's our guy moving forward. Good chance that Kasich's red shirt will be burned this year. Shane Van Ness will have his surgery soon.
AZ Wrestling Fan says that the fact that Kasich are in the whole third period give you any pause about predicting him as an AA or nothing to worry about.
As far as being an All-American, I don't look at him getting ridden as a reason he can't place. He'd also scored so many points that what's your activity level? I don't know.
You just look at the scope of 149 for me, and you look at a guy like Chance Lamer or Dylan D'Amelio, who just lost to Kanan Webster. He can go with those guys, and I think he can beat them.
I mean, Dylan D'Amelio is ranked 5th. Arrington ranked 4th. This weight is wide open. Ridge,
Parko's not healthy. Yes. He's ranked 3rd.
I mean, Henson has been awesome this year, but he lost to Ridge. He lost to Rooks last year. Ridge, the best guy, but he's not impregnable. He has holes as well. So that does not give me in this weight class. No, you've got a guy that can score a lot of points.
Yeah, 49 is I don't want to say 25-ish, but it feels that way a little bit.
I kind of agree in terms of, I think there's Parko. Who beat Parko? Whalen. He lost to Whalen. He lost to Henson earlier this year.
Kyle Whalen's not wrestling this year, right?
Correct.
But wait, he's at Princeton, so he must be gray shirting or something?
Yeah, they do that thing.
Yeah, okay.
That thing.
What
about this one from Baby Brands?
Oh.
With freshmen Davis, Kasich, and Messenbrink starting off so strong, what do you think of PSU's chances of setting the NCAA tourney scoring record, despite missing Shane Van Ness?
I don't know. I still think so the record is 170 points. That means you have to average 3rd place at every single weight class. So you really need...
bonus will be higher, though, for sure.
Bonus will be higher. I think losing Shane hurts a lot. But...
Yes.
Shane's not exactly a prolific bonus point scorer. And if they go from 1st to 3rd, something like that with Kasich.
Right. I mean, Shane this year, though, he had 100%. Well,
he was looking that way.
He had 3 pins in the first period in his only 3 matches, but So we don't know. This could have been a year he takes a step up bonus-wise, but now we don't know. Yeah, I mean, when the injury happened, my first thought was no shot at the point record. Now,
so you're saying there's a chance.
Kasich could get there, and that was with me giving 0 points really at 125. Now, Braden's a scrapper and a legitimate point scorer.
Shane Van Ness did only beat Parko 5-1.
Yeah, that was a great match. Really exciting match. Mm-hmm. But he beat Kyle freaking Parko. That's the third-ranked guy.
Yeah.
So I eliminated it. Now I'm like, there's a shot, but a lot has to go right. But a lot usually does go right for them at the NCAA tournament. But still, when you're looking at 10 guys, that's one guy DNPs.
17 points per person.
Mm-hmm. That's tough. Now, you need some. If you get a couple 23s, 24s, and 25s from a Carter, from a Brooks, and maybe Greg.
Yes.
If you get that, and then if Nagao can be a high bonus third placer, that's big. But he might be fourth now with Crookham. Crookham looks like every bit.
Pretty good.
Dayton Fix looks really good right now.
Yep.
Vito. So I don't see Nagao taking a step up into the Crookham, Dayton, Vito conversation. Yeah, I'm not sure of that yet. And I thought maybe he would, and he still could, but I think right now it's a little tougher. And Bernie, I thought maybe step up, he could win a title, lose to Trey.
Slap the Mat says the actual point total converted, so I don't know what the old scoring was in that era, would be 177.5.
I don't think.
I know they did used to score it.
No, the scoring did change, but 170 was like the number. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But if they had different bonus point totals or something, you convert it.
I think there was another Iowa team. I'm talking about 97 Iowa Hawkeyes.
The 92 Iowa Hawkeyes, if you rescored it, would have scored 175 points.
Okay.
They said 1983 was the year this guy cites. So I don't know what the scoring rules were.
That would have been 177.5.
Yeah.
If you would have.
They only had 155.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, the record is the most points ever scored at NCAA. It's not like a rescoring.
I don't know, Christian. If you changed the rules, that kind of, what if we made every champ worth 20 points? Would you just say this is the new record?
Well, that is what it is.
That doesn't make. No, it's champ 16.
No.
The actual champion is 16, then the advancement points adds 4. So.
Well, what are you talking about? Well, yeah. That's 20. 20 is what you get if you win.
They first place finished were 20, and then you get another point for advancement. Then it's going to change the game.
Yeah. Maybe so. Okay. I feel like the record is 170, but
okay.
There is some context.
All right.
That matters.
Let's move on to the Lehigh versus Cornell duel, because that was fun.
Let's do a very, very great duel. Awesome atmosphere at the Snake Pit as always. Great rivalry. Let's go to Ben. Ben's coming to us live from Wisconsin. What do you think?
Well, I think really good wrestling by Lehigh, and I think we kind of said this already, or you may have said this. Cornell looked a little bit down. Cardenas looked bad in the third period. Fernandez lost to Taylor. Unger lost to Stanich. And then, even Meyer and Brignola, that was in the balance. There was definitely a few parts where I thought Brignola was going to convert that takedown in the third period, right? So he got an escape right away, went right back in on the leg, and there was multiple times I thought, he's just about to get the takedown, but he just couldn't put the right combination of moves together to finish him off, and then eventually Meyer. The last thing he tried was dumb. I don't know what he was thinking there. That was a bad idea. Max Brignola. Don't do that one again. Where you're trying to lean over his back, that was just a bad idea. Just don't do it again. And he got taken down, but it was in the balance for a minute.
Yes, it was. Yeah. So I didn't think Meyer looked his sharpest, and it was interesting because for Meyer, one of the hallmarks I feel like for his style is he comes out and he scores right away, right? He comes out and he's in dogged pursuit of that first takedown, and he really didn't fire early. He was I don't know if it was like strategic, like trying to see, hey, let me see what happens if I kind of wait a little bit and don't come out crazy and do a little more, it's just maybe energy maintenance or whatever you would call that.
Yeah.
And he still won. He won by 6. Brignola is not a pushover. He's ranked. So, you can't just throw that result out. But I agree. I didn't expect it to be as in the balance as it was in the third period. And yeah, 8-2 is a little misleading with Brignola in position to score late.
Well, okay, can I say one more thing that's bugging me? The 3-point takedown. Guys, the takedown used to be worth 2 points. And so some people are acting like, I don't want to pick on Shane, but Shane and Tim Johnson were like, the 3-point takedown is what let Jared Franek have a comeback. It's like, well, no. If it was a 2-point takedown, then Peyton Robb would have also had a 2-point takedown, and Franek still would have won by 1 because he had 2 escapes, and and Robb only had 1. So in certain situations, people are giving credit to the 3-point takedown where it definitely does not deserve credit.
I don't know. We'll have to run those numbers. I'm not sure you're right.
Shut up. You know I'm right.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Or like they're like, oh my God, he came from way behind. But it was like, well, wait, but that guy had 2 3-point takedowns. And previously, he would only had 2 2-point takedowns. So it's like you just the amount of points that the score is worth is greater. Therefore, you can come from behind from larger margins. But if we go back to the old system, they would have been smaller margins because the scores would have been less.
You're giving me a lot to think about today, Ben.
Shut up.
No, I'm with you.
It is really, people don't recognize it. And I'm like, oh my God, but it doesn't make sense. You're not making any sense here. It's the same thing as 2 takedowns or 3 takedowns or whatever it is.
I'm just trying to envision you watching this duel and just like they're moving on. You're at 174 and you're still just talking out loud about it. It's like, but it doesn't. Going back to 157, you just can't let it go. I'm with you, buddy.
But it doesn't make sense. It's simple math.
The 3-point takedown does or has created more possibilities, I feel like, in a match. Whereas I feel like it used to be a lot more formulaic. Maybe I just haven't gotten used to it quite yet. But where like you see a score in the second period and you're like, I know exactly what happened in this match.
Correct.
Or like in the third period, or like you see how match finished, and you're like, I know, okay, this guy got a takedown in the first, and this guy escaped. Then he escaped again, and then this guy got another takedown, and he escaped again. And it's like you can see a score and know what happened. Now it's kind of like, well, maybe this happened. Maybe he got a turn. Maybe this happened.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I really feel like college wrestling has been super exciting this year. And I'm not trying to correlate it 100% with that, but I feel like the product has been really strong. Not a lot of snoozers.
Well, I mean, the thing that no one, the actual reason that it's been that way is the one that no one brought up before the fact is that the 3 points makes it so that the mat wrestling situations are not as valuable, and therefore there's not as many ties. We brought this up, like with the 2-point takedown versus 2 escapes, or a 2-point takedown versus escape and ride time. Those would have been ties. And, when there's a tie, people are less active. But if one person is then losing 3-2, they're like, okay, I have to go get a takedown because I'm losing by 3-2. I'm not tied, so there's less overtimes. And there's always someone in the third period. Generally, it's more likely that someone in the third period needs to be aggressive and go get a takedown.
Yes.
Just made a great argument for never having a tie in a match, if only that existed.
Oh, dare to dream. Okay. James has some other notable results here that we haven't got to yet. Eli Griffin takes out Steve-O 7-4. Steve-O's been kind of doing this. He lost to Strickenberger earlier this year. Now he's lost to California Baptist Elijah Griffin. Nice win there for him. He made the Midlands finals earlier this year. He's another tough guy at 125. Peyton Hall takes out Isaac Olenek. This is maybe one of the bigger upsets of the weekend when you consider how good Isaac's looked all year.
Yeah, but if you would have said this like last year or the year before, it probably wouldn't have been all that shocking.
Wouldn't have been an upset.
It wouldn't have been an upset. Yeah, he has been better this year, but he got drilled by Dean Hamidi in the finals of Midlands, I believe. But he looked good. They got in a few scrambles. Olejnik is a little bit limited in the fact that he doesn't go underneath people very well, right? So he doesn't shoot. He's a lot of slide bys, and he only shoots a little bit. So if he gets behind, then that becomes an issue. Let's see. Hall's lost to Hamidi 12-0.
He got pinned by like.
Yeah. What was this guy? I don't know him. Yeah,
it was
Gaetano Consoli. Yeah. So, but yeah, good win by Peyton Hall. A big upset to your point. Even though maybe previously we wouldn't have seen it that way a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was a nice win for him, and maybe I think both guys were due for a little bit of leveling off. Isaac so good all year long. He's definitely better than he was a year ago, but at some point he was in college wrestling. If you're wrestling your full schedule, you'll slip on banana peel. And Peyton was due for a big win, and so it just kind of coalesced there. Also in this duel,
Keegan's got. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, at 41, Titus and Tagan Jameson had a really close match. It was a good match. Really close takedown call for Jameson in the first. That was the difference. It was, one of those things where you go back in time, you'd probably brick it, but you just don't know the future. So Titus goes down, but it was a really good match there. I'm trying to think of other relevant matches in that dual meet. Dayton continues to look
not
really
very many
tough. No.
I guess the one would be Doucette. Actually, he beat Pitzer on Friday and he beat Wolfgram on Saturday. So he's improving.
Oklahoma State's wrestling well, really kind of top to bottom. Not Serber, I think, is still not fully back as good as we'd seen him. But Doucette has been a surprise for me this year.
Yes.
And also,
he was solid last year, but not this good.
Correct. And for Oklahoma State, you're now looking at their recruiting classes. You got Doucette. How many years does he have left?
Because they got the big meathead that likes to flex,
Christian Carroll,
and Cody Merrill, both coming in. Yeah, Christian Carroll.
Merrill and Carroll and meathead brigade.
And Cody. There's me lifting all the weights in the weight room. Yeah.
So he is a junior. He redshirted in 2021, then 22, 23, 20. So this is his third year. So he's back next year. So I don't know what happens with Carroll. You could redshirt Merrill, but he looks like he's clearly the guy.
Yeah, it's tough.
Okay, Meathead Brigade, touched on that. Caleb Fish, we already talked about that. His big win.
Doucette did wrestle. He wrestled Mason Paris 5-3 last year. Wrestled Zach Elam 4-2. He was pretty tough last year, but did not win a match at the NCAAs.
Who do you think is going to get second at NCAAs this year?
Mizzou.
But really?
I honestly, Mizzou does have a chance.
They do have a chance.
A lot of guys wrestling really well.
But I'm just trying to make you think about it critically and not just.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well, one guy I think Rocky Elam is significantly underrated for his weight right now because he had the injury, and so is Certain. So I think Mizzou could bump up there. But Iowa is. I don't know, man. I feel kind of like every one of these teams has like some deficiencies. Like Michigan at 5. Has not been wrestling super well. Oklahoma State, they've actually been wrestling really well, but I feel like some of their guys could be a little bit having a regression. NC State's really good, but who did they just lost to someone, didn't they?
Oklahoma State beat them bad.
Yeah, beat them bad. So that made me kind of question them. It's tough.
It's really tough. Conferences, maybe we'll feel like we have a better sense because.
Yes.
I do think Michigan is one that could. I mean, Ragason's out of red shirt, so Cannon, who hadn't been there, is done. But they need some consistency from DiAgostino. And if they get that, everyone knows the deal with 125. They need Griffith to be the guy he was at Stanford. Davison could place high. Cam Amin can place high. Willow Wan, we haven't seen him, but, his potential. And Austin Gomez could win 149. We haven't talked a lot about it, but he's back and wrestling well. He hasn't hit really any highly ranked guys yet, but he looks good.
Friday will be fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably maybe the match I'm looking for.
Kazak versus Gomez is going to be crazy. See, Kazak is a little too fearless, I'm worried he might get, because he was getting in some upper body situations, and that can go different directions with with Gomez. Yes. He did beat Ethan 100%. Miller 10-6 and Alec Martin. Those are tough guys. So he's hit ranked guys. Kasich will be the best guy he's wrestled this year.
Agreed. So I was saying earlier, Keegan's going to have Peyton Hall, Julian Ramirez, and Lejnik all back to back in like 8 days.
That's awesome.
So that'll be fun.
That will be fun. Mm-hmm. Excited to see those matches. Okay, want to do some questions? We got like 18-ish minutes.
Let's see.
We can go.
New rule sets such as danger rule turn guys like Dean Heil from a former NCAA champion into finishing outside All-American. I think that's a definite possibility.
Who's
but he was always in those besides Dean Heil, I was going to say besides Dean Heil, because that's a singular person who had an insane amount of very, very close matches who was able to win them. Yeah. I don't know who else he would be referring to.
Yeah, I don't know. But I would say for Dean, I don't think it was. I mean, if you go watch some of his title runs, he was just firing leg attacks and taking dudes down. Everyone focuses in on the Gulabon match and I'm not saying he wasn't on his back a decent amount in his career, but the amount of times he was going and generating and just taking dudes down, it's a little overplayed. I just think he was not wrestling. He just had a bad year that year. He just did not wrestle well that season. He was right there to beat, and you also forget, he was beating Yanni late in that match, and Yanni had to go and get it in that quarterfinal. Yanni won that year, so I don't know. It's a little revisionist to correlate the danger rule, which didn't help Dean, but I think it's also not giving a lot of credit to how good Dean was otherwise.
I think maybe he's also citing that the 3-point takedown, because I feel like there was a few different ride-out situations where Heil won. I can't cite exact matches, so if I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like there's definitely ride-outs and double overtimes and stuff that he won. Semi-frequently. He
was tough in those kind of grimy matches.
Yeah, you're right. At NCAAs though, he didn't have any. At 2017, it's he did have 6-5 first round, which I don't know what the scoring sequences were. 6-5, 9-5, 6-5, 4-2, 6-3. So there's no overtimes or rideouts there. Mm-hmm. And then the year before that, similar 4-1, 4-1, 8-3, 8-3, 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is Jaden Cox? Asks Mossman103. He's in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I saw him. He was in the wrestling room, so I think he's training. Hopefully, we see him at trials, and hopefully, he's healthy. I know he is he's a newly father. Congratulations to Father Jaden.
I believe.
Yeah, twins.
And twins.
Ben, would you have wanted twins?
Yeah, that would have been cool, I guess.
I think it would have been cool.
It would have been really, really hard, but
I think it's really tough for a little bit, and then it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully I talk to him this week.
Oh, yeah, talk to him. Get an interview with the man.
Yeah.
What separates Keegan from everyone else? Nothing special physically, says Joseph Floyd, not me. Could it be the way he diagnoses things? Other AWA guys have the same coaching, and they're very good, but Buggy Whips Jr. has something different. Making fun of Brian O'Toole's arms are constantly the subject of ridicule because of Ben Askren.
So funny.
In reality, he has bigger
Mr.
biceps.
Buggy Whips loves me.
Yeah, but he has bigger arms than you, Ben.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
You know who else has bigger arms than you?
Not you.
Well, maybe.
Who?
I won't say his name, but his initials are WR.
Shut up.
That's all I'm going to say.
What if he was just like a bodybuilder Jack now or something?
That'd be funny.
Stays in great shape.
Yeah.
I think a few things. He just did everything right. I mean, he's just super obsessive about the sport, smart, asks good questions, trains hard. Yeah, I mean, I think that's hopefully for me and AWA and probably at the at the peril of everyone else, I think we're going to have more and more guys coming out like that because there's just guys who are seeing the pathway. They're seeing you got to be kind of super obsessed. You got to love it. And if you love it and you're super obsessed, we can give you a lot of the right answers and help you find the right paths. So I think we honestly right now we have, I think it's 9 guys in the Division I rankings. So, it's expanding more and more.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think, who are some of the guys next generation you're excited about? Obviously you have the Mirsolas and Aiden. Who are some other guys maybe that are freshmen, sophomore, juniors that are?
I don't like picking them out that early. I don't want to give them that type of attention.
All right, fine. A 6th grader then.
Not that. Definitely not them. Definitely not them. There's nothing good that happens to childhood stars, Christian Piles. Don't forget that.
Will Ozzy win NCAAs? It's a simple question, Ben.
I don't even know. He kind of likes it, but he's kind of strange sometimes. So I don't know. Alex is pretty into it, so we'll see how far she goes. He's 6 now. He's 6.
Oh snap! So, you held him back. He's still in preschool, right?
Well, he's kindergartner. He's normal age. December birthday. So I guess he'd be in the older age birth year cohort, but not abnormally old by any means. We did hold Andy back because she was going to be the youngest in her class, and I thought you don't want that. And I kind of seen the situation play out with other people, and I'm like, I'm just going to hold her back now, so there's no issue.
Nick Janda. Anyone nervous about Zane Richards getting 57 kilogram qualified? Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I'm nervous about both weights. Listen. Anytime it's not qualified going into, out of the World Championships, you should be nervous. There's no guarantees in this thing. And anytime you're like, I hope this person or this country is opposite us, that's not a great position to be in. And I think that's where we are with 57. We could do it, but I'm telling you what, I don't want Roman Bravo Young on our side. I don't know that he can't win. I think he probably could win that match, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that match yet. Yes, I'm nervous about it. I'd be nervous, replace Zane with another guy. You date and fix. Vito. Yeah, a little nervous. There's no guarantees at this. There's so much on the line for these countries. And, Zane Rutherford's a great example. Like, we had the best guy at Pan Am's at 65 that year, but we got freaking pinned in the match to go. Yes. Against a guy that was on no one's radar. I did a whole video about this that should be going up today or tomorrow, but yeah, it's going to be nerve-wracking to see how we do.
I agree. I like Nick Janda's other question. What's more exciting, the unpredictability of 125, where it seems like anybody can A or go 0-2, or like 165, where you have known hammers, but you can make a solid prediction for the 8th AA. So this one is interesting to me because I prefer a weight with 2 or 3 final bosses more. So I like 165 because you have
boss
Keegan, Carr, Mitchell. Mm-hmm. But if you just have a weight that doesn't have those Hodge-like guys, but it's just 8 solid A's, I would prefer the unpredictability of a 125.
I don't know if we've ever had a weight that was as wide open as 25. 97 in last year and some previous years it felt that way. But for me, it's the premier matchup weights. It's the ones that have the true excellence. That's what we're going to be talking about, I think. Not, if Matt Ramos beats Anthony Noto in the NCAA finals, I'm not going to be like, 10 years from now, I'm not going to be like, remember when and that guy won it. I'll be like, remember when Carr and O'Toole wrestled again, or Mitchell, or whoever it is. Yeah. It'll be that. Or the other thing you get in those weights is if one of those guys goes down early, it's such a big upset. Whereas at 25, anything that happens is like
we expected that.
Yeah, it's not even a surprise. Yes. So those big upsets don't even have the weight at 25 to where, wow, the 3 seed goes down in the second round. It's like, man, we probably predicted that.
Well, it still feels like this weight is obviously very wide open. It still feels like one of the top 10 guys is going to come out on top of everything. You might get a guy like a Braden Palmer or a Spencer Moore who's in the mid-20s right now sneaking and on the podium.
Yeah.
But it feels like one of your Noto, Ramos, Ayala, Provo, Smith types is going to run the gauntlet.
I think that too.
Ooh, I don't know.
I think fewer guys. I do. I think by the end of the year, we're going to be like, okay, yeah, it was Ramos, it was Drake, it was, Anthony. Weren't those the guys we kind of thought that was possible with them?
But there's still the thing of if Spratley upset, he's 18, right? So if he upsets
Spratley.
the number, what it would be, number 3 or number 2, second round, right? Whomever he has second round, it'd be the 2. If Spratley at 18 beats the number 2, you're not that surprised. And so maybe, yes, there's a greater likelihood of the higher ranked guys winning, especially by the end. But I still feel like if Kyson Tarakinia comes out at 24 or Jacob Camacho at 23 and beats someone really high, I'm not really all that surprised.
Well, I'm not saying beats someone high. That will happen. I'm saying wins, runs the gauntlet. Mm-hmm. And I'll include Troy Spratley in that group, and we're going to have a better idea post-conference weekend as well. But it just seems like one of these top 10, 15 guys is going to be the guy to run the gauntlet. I don't think one of your... Which is still an insane statement to say that we never say about a weight where 1 through 15 can come out on top. But I don't think we're going to see a 20-plus guy run the gauntlet here and win 5 matches to win NCAAs. I think we're going to see a couple pickoffs, a couple upsets, but...
Well, I was actually going to say that would be... So I agree with Christian's point about, in 15 years, what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about, Carr versus O'Toole or, kind of like the stars, because the stars drive things. But the other thing I think 25 could potentially provide is actually something you guys are not bringing up. We still talk about Zeke Moisey coming from the 15 and making the finals. What if we had the number 18 winning? We'll be talking about that. Remember when the number 18 guy won the NCAAs in 2024? That was freaking crazy.
Well, the difference is they don't have a Thomas Gilman to beat this year.
Sure.
There's no huge upset to be had.
Yeah.
We still will mention it, but I also think the guy who wins this weight will go, if they have extra years, will go on to have a decent career, maybe make the finals or whatever next year, whereas that was not the case for Zeke. That truly was a miracle run for him.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, I got something else cooking here. 1 second.
What?
No, I could be wrong.
No, don't you?
I got another question.
Don't you even think about it. Don't you even think about it.
From another good question from Ida Slapter. Oh crap!
You got.
Dang it! I normally can stumble upon those. I was just reading. What does 174 heavyweight look like? See, I didn't read his handle. That's bad. But I did read. But he asked, what does 174 to heavyweight look like for Penn State next year? So heavyweight's easy, because that's Greg. 97, I don't know. Actually, let's get.
I know.
We have something. We actually tracked down Wes Roberts.
I see what you guys are doing.
Look, we found Wes Roberts. This is the guy that he's aged a little better than Ben, but this is the guy. If you're watching live, we found him on LinkedIn in the Oklahoma City area.
For those just listening, it is a LinkedIn profile of one Wes Roberts from the OKC metro area, and he looks to be about 77.
Well, he's not on the stem cells like Ben, so it's not as.
It's true.
Who knows what Ben would look like on natural,
Goodness. You guys are too funny.
Okay, so 74. All right, 74 next year I think is, well, they could always bring Starachi back. He says he's not, but, maybe. If not him, do they use Facundo there? Because that's possible. Because it feels like their 184 is going to be Josh Barr, because that's where he's been wrestling. I think he's a good size for that weight. 97, Ryder's coming in. Mirasola's coming in. I don't know where they slot Ryder. Is he an 84? Is he a 97? I'm not sure. It feels like Mirasola would be the guy there at 197.
Yeah.
And then heavyweight, Greg Kirkfleet is back, and he can remain there, while Connor gets bigger.
Cole.
Dang it. I'll get it one of these days.
Just say C. Mirasola.
C. Mirasola. That's my guess. Now, is there a scenario where they say, hey, Levi, get as big as humanly possible and go 174 next year? Or maybe they bulk up some other guys. They could change some things. I don't know. Everyone was talking about how big Levi was last year, including like Levi and the staff, and then he's just there again. So was he not that big? Did he get it? Does he have a better handle on it? I don't know. But that's my guess right now, if I had to have one. Other question. I don't think this is a thing, but I'll ask it. Why is USA Wrestling not picking Spencer Lee for international tournaments? Why they pick Courtney over him for Zagreb, or now Cronin for France tournament? I can't imagine USA has an even choice where they can send one or the other, and they're not sending Spencer.
Well,
I don't think
that's not what happens. The guys sign up for the trips that they want to go to. You sign up for the trips, and then they go from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't think Hedgehog Day. That's what's happening there.
And with ranking series tournaments, you only get a limited number of entries per country.
Yeah,
it's not just an open.
So I don't think. I don't think they chose Brandon Courtney or Liam Cronin over Spencer Lee. I don't think that's what happened.
Correct.
Weston Barrel, does Ben know how Dean has done against lower ranked wrestlers? He just majored Carlson. Is that a trend for him?
That's funny, right?
That is a trend. Why didn't Gilman wrestle at Zagreb? He just had a daughter, I believe, or a son, a child. I don't know the gender of the child. I
think Mr. Smith, he's thinking this year places top 3. Does he go somewhere else? I'm sure there'll be some of that. We saw it last year with Bernie and with Aaron Nagao to Penn State. We saw it with Caliendo and Franek to Iowa. We saw it with all of Northwestern's team to Michigan. So I'm sure there's going to be some of that, and it is kind of unfortunate, I think.
There was also caveats to those. North Dakota State guys, coaching change. Mm-hmm. Northwestern guys, graduate
fifth
transfers.
Years. Yep. Yeah. And, if Nasir Bailey places top 3, I'd be pretty surprised also.
I would also.
He's good.
Possible. Not likely.
Right. All right, 9:59. I think we did it. I think we did the show officially. Horns. Man, I really want to start saying horns, and then the music plays. We got to get in sync on this, Tyler. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back Wednesday of this week. When are you leaving? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning, hopefully.
Yeah, or he's a little worried about the flight situation. 55 flights have been canceled out of Austin, according to JD Rader, our flight tracker.
I think it's 51.
51.
As of 6:05 a.m. this morning.
Dang, that's a lot. Ben, thank you. Stay warm, buddy. Have fun at your lessons. Oh, he's gone. Look at him. See, I think we should get this time. When he leaves a minute early to go pee, look at him, just frozen Ben. Not funky Ben, frozen Ben Askren. It's ridiculous. We'll leave you with this beautiful shot at Ben. That's what he gets. When you hang up early, when you clock out early, you get dunked on. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow, Wednesday. Goodbye.